All right. Good morning, everybody. All right, now that we are ready to start creating sheets, we're going to have to go through an extra step.
Your screen's not showing.
Oh, it's not showing? I'm sorry. Try again.
Do a
sorry. Try this again.
do the entire screen.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So now that we're ready to start creating sheets, we will need to go through a separate step now. We will need to create a reference file for our named boundaries, which is basically just our viewports that we are going to be creating our sheets from. So once you have a geometry file set, and that's all you need to start creating your sheets, so you don't need any other hydraulic models or anything like that. You'll come up to your drawing production tab, and you'll select your name boundary tool, which will bring up your dialog. And the first thing you want to select is this first icon on the top left, which is your civil plan. Jeremy will go through plan and profiles and such like that here in a bit. But for our civil plans, we will want to create a 50 scale. So as you'll notice in the drop down, we have some CDOT defaults. So we'll want to pick the plan single. And then under detail scale, it has a default of 1 to 1 foot. We'll want to change that to 1 equals 50. And then we'll start following the prompts along the bottom. So it says to identify our path element. So we already have our Ute Avenue alignment attached. So we'll first select that. And then it's asking us to accept or reject our path start point. So this is best practices, as we like to select our start station and stop station. So if you check these two boxes and then hit these two arrows, it'll go from the beginning to the end of the project. So you slowly select, start following the prompts. You click just once, and it populates your first 3 viewports. So before you click your next prompt, I want to adjust some of my stationing. So I want to start a little bit before our alignment starts. So I want to adjust this to start at 28 plus 00. And you'll see it automatically changes in plan view before I click. So now that it's set to where I'd like it to be, I can click forward. I do want to show you the length and offsets real quick. So the length is going to be your viewport from left to right. Left offset is actually going to be your viewport above your alignment, and then right offset is going to be below. These are set by your seed that you selected up here, so you shouldn't have to modify anything there. If you did want to, for whatever reason, want to make your viewports at 500 foot length, it'll automatically create that additional force sheet for you. We'll go back to the 700 because this is set up for our 50 scale sheets. So once we have our viewports where we want them, we'll click our next prompt, but you want to make sure that this create drawing dialog is not checked. We will create our drawings in a separate file. If you have that checked, it'll create unnecessary models and sheets within this file that we don't want. So once we're ready, we'll just click again. And then one last time to select plan view in here. And there we go. So we got our 3 plans. So if you come up to this arrow on the bottom right of your name boundary tool, it'll open up your name boundary manager of some sorts. So then you can see our Ute Avenue plan 1, 2, and 3. Before we go any further, I want to rename these based off of our stationing. Reason for it is on our next step, when we create our sheet files, all the models will be tied to these name boundaries. So if we do a little work in the beginning right now, it'll save us some work later on. So to know my station ranges, I'm going to want to turn on the annotation that we've already had frozen in our geometry file. So I'll come over to my level display, select the geometry for that, and then turn everything back on. So now we can see our first window goes from 29 to 35. So then I'll just come in here, go to the properties for this sheet boundary. And then I can name this, say station 29. And I believe it goes from 35 to 48, or it's 42, sorry. And you'll see these aren't automatically updating in here. You'll have to close the dialog and then reopen it. Okay. So now that's changed. Close this out. And it should, I think you just have to redo it. So you come back into your name boundary and it should be updated. Okay, so now all of our naming is updated. So we have our viewport set, the naming, at least at this point in the process, we're good to go. Now we're ready to create our sheets, but we want to clean up this file as much as we can, so we can actually detach that geometry file now. Again, we want to keep our files as clean as possible. So now we're done. We have our viewports created. Our name boundary data it resides in this file. So if you reference this into your specialty plan sheets to create them, all the stuff is going to be tied to these viewports that you've created. So that's how you create your name boundaries. I think we can stop recording and take questions.